Hello everybody, welcome to another great episode of Hillbilly Select Reviews, where I do many types of reviews. I have a beautiful playlist that you need to look at. Has several things for everybody. You'll be amazed what's on that playlist. The playlist is going to be attached to this video is my, I guess my Italian wine playlist or my red wine playlist. I actually broke down my red wines, Italian, French, and I'll make it easy for people to find things. Today I'm doing a pretty interesting one. It's from Sicily, Italy. You know where Sicily is, that little island on the tip of the boot of Italy. Principi Di Butera, Cabernet Sauvignon, 2014. So it's 6 years old. So, see if we can get a good shot at that nice classy label. This is 100% Cabernet Sauvignon. And I'll tell you, most Cabernets are not 100%, they're blends. I think it could be 70% Cabernet and to still be called Cabernet, but this is 100%. Most Bordeaux's are mostly Cabernet, but some of them are, almost all of them are blended. Very few are 100% Cabernet. I can think of very few that are 100% Merlot. There are some, but it's rare. Anyway, this was covered. I took it. It has to decant a little bit because it's 6 years old. I want it to get a little air. It was covered with this, this foil. You see, nice gray piece of foil. Matches the, the color of the label, gray and gold. And this was the cork. And of course, it is a real cork for those of you who care about that. And there it is. All right, so let's get into it. Something interesting about this, 14% ABV. It's made with a cap fermentation, okay? A submerged cap system of fermentation. What that is, it's a very old system. And when you put wine in your big stainless steel or wooden cask to ferment, turn into, when you put your grapes in there and turn into wine, you add the yeast. All the fruit floats to the top, the skin, after you've pressed it. And it doesn't get good extraction that way. You're not getting the flavors, you're not getting the tannin, you're not getting the color as well. So there's three things you can do. One is to sit there and just kind of hand plunge it all the time and keep that cap circulated. That's kind of time consuming. And the other one, the modern one, the one that almost everybody uses now, is a pump system where you simply repump the wine on top of the cap and keep it circulating. But the way they used to do it back in the day, before electricity, was this cap system where they kind of have like a French press type thing, usually made of wood, and they submerge the, they press down the cap, and then it's under the wine the whole time, or the water turning into wine. And it's great extraction, especially for low tannic wines, because it's a good way to get tannin out of there. There are pros and cons to every way you do this. I'm not going to get into that. I just want to give you that interesting fact, or the fact that I thought was interesting. This is initially fermented 2 weeks in stainless steel, using that system, and then it is put into, 80% of it is put into a 3,000 to 6,000 liter wooden barrel, and 20% is put into 350 liter barrel. And it's aged for for a year that way. And the smaller barrel extracts more flavors, more things out of the wood. That's why they don't put it all in there. But they want to put enough to where they feel it'll enhance the wine. So that's the way they found it. 80% in the bigger one, 20% really extracting it, mix it together. In their eyes, makes it perfect. So 12 months that way, and then it's aged. It's put in the bottle, and before they sell it, they age it another 3 to 6 months. They taste it, they find out when it's ready to go. How do you age it in a bottle? Well, this isn't like whiskey. It's not a finished product. Okay, it's continuously rolling, developing. So the cork is not airtight. Okay, micro amounts of air get into it, and so if they do that for 3 to 6 months in their dark cellars, cool dark cellars, it's further developing and maturing. Now, it's also how wine goes bad. It's how wine gets better and how wine goes bad. It's how a little bit of wine gets better and how a lot of wine gets bad. All right? So corks for certain wines are a good thing, but a lot of people like those screw caps for wines that are to be drunk right away and not aged, and that's the reason, because the cork lets in a little bit of air even when it doesn't fail. It's designed that way. And wines that aren't supposed to be aged, that's not a great thing. So I put it in the in my decanter, and I let it hit the side and fan here, and you know, now it's got a nice surface compared to just the surface of the bottle, right? To expose the air and soften those tannins up that they got from the cap system. This wine is 6 years old, so it does need to breathe out. Now I'm going to do a rough pour here on purpose to further just aerate it. And then people will swirl. I don't know if there's any sediment on the bottom of this. If there is, it's not a big deal. I could look up to the light and see and pour it in a certain way, or I could put it through a strainer, or I could not worry about it at all. You know, this is 6 years old. Look at the color. A nice ruby red, no brown in it, which shows the aging, where it's starting to age and maybe go bad. So this is still young. And for low ABV too, I guess there's a lot of tannin that's really holding this together. And you're really getting a lot of ripe berries on this, and I'll let you pick them out, whether you say I smell raspberries, blueberries, strawberries, cherries. Everybody's gonna smell something different, but you will smell some type of fruit on here, fruit forward, absolutely you will. Followed by a nice floral smell, right? And I'm gonna tell you what flowers, it may remind you of a violet or some type of flower, but you should get fruit. To whether or not you can pick out individual fruits, you probably can, or just say, no, it smells fruity. And flowers, floral. Not getting any of that barrel, any of that vanilla or yeah, I am a little bit now. You know, as this warms up, as this opens up, as this gets in contact with the air, it's going to change. And on this one, for the better. For the better. First thing I'm doing here, I'm not going to worry about the flavor right now. I want to see how much tannin's in there. You feel it on the top of your tongue, the roof of your mouth, kind of an astringent type taste. And it's still got some tannin in it, a lot of tannin, which means this could go and soften up even more through this air, through aging, probably another couple years. 2014 is 2020. I wouldn't do more than another year or two. But it's holding up strong. I think to let this out, probably pour it, decant it. I'd say half an hour. And if you're just going to open it, you don't have decanter, at least an hour. Now we'll go for the taste. And the acid, which you feel on the side of your tongue, I would say is medium on this. Go with medium to medium light, but good tannin. Gives a good structure. Now I'm going to concentrate on the taste. And I'm glad it's not so fruity like it was on the smell. On the smell, it smelled like a young, fruity wine. But on the taste, you get that barrel, that oak, a little bit of woodsy and floral. Excuse me, forget the floral. A little bit of woodsy, like leaves or just walking through a woods, soil type thing. And then I'm really getting that fruit after that as a side piece. For me, getting some black cherries, some plum, maybe even a little bit of raisin. That's what I'm kind of picking out of it. It's a little spiciness to it as well. Slight amount of pepper. So a little bit of pepper in there. Makes it very interesting. Now this would go very good. Somebody said that when I was, maybe it's on the back here, something, I'm not going to read all this, but that it goes good with, it went well with the sauce, a spicy sausage. So if it goes good with spice, well, I agree with that. So anything spicy, so Chinese food that's spicy, Mexican food that might be spicy, anything that's spicy. You got blackened fish, I know it's fish, but if it's spicy and it's blackened, maybe it's grilled, anything grilled, any grilled meat, any heavy pasta, pasta with any type of meat sauce, a nice hearty red sauce on it. You have a garlic bread. Mature cheeses would really knock any bit of that earthiness and that tannin out of this and really mellow it out. It's amazing what that does. Barbecue, smoked meats, stuff like that. Anything gamey like a lamb is kind of gamey, or a deer itself. This would go well with that taste like that. So beef, but anything that, like I say, smoked, barbecued, maybe a little spicy. And like I say, aged cheese. And the spicy, I'm gonna be careful with. I think the sausage, because of the fat and stuff in there, but I don't know about the Chinese or Mexicans. It's not very sweet, and sweet kills heat. So I think it would hold up to the spice, but maybe not the rest of the flavor. Do more traditional, obviously hearty spaghetti sauce. It would go with a pizza, especially a meat pizza. Yeah, very good. So, from Hillbilly Select Reviews, if you see this wine, from Sicily, very interesting. Feudo Principi Di Butera. Probably said it all screwed up. But, there it is. Alright, very nice wine. Give it a try, especially if you're having the foods that I mentioned. From Hillbilly Select Review, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Check out my playlists, please. Oh, and I will continue to search the world, literally, for things for this channel to review. But I ask for one thing and one thing only, and that's you hit the subscription button. I don't even care if you hit the bell. I'd love for you to hit the bell, watch everything I put on here if it's not realistic. But you can hit the bell and then see what I got. If that's your category, you watch it. If not, you don't. But at least subscribe, all right? At least do me that favor so I know that I'm doing something right, all right? I'm having a great time doing this. But, I don't know. It's a lot of time and effort to do it for myself. So, come on, get on board, and I will see you on the next one.